our discussions of the human person and the experience of stress, we have distress, which is the negative, fear-based response to external activities, versus eustress, which is more faith-based. It's a positive experience. Remember the car sliding on an icy road versus a roller coaster. This elevated level of physical response goes ever increasing up here, and this is increased heart rate and muscle rate and all that. We've talked about how this can become destructive when we have elevated levels of distress. And there's a very, 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 very triple underlined important concept and difference between our life experiences of distress versus eustress that we must really keep in mind if we're going to grow at all spiritually. And that is this. When we are living in faith over here we have a faith experience, and over here we have a fear experience. If we are living in faith, which is in reference to God, then we are co-workers with God. We are literally ministers. We could also see ourselves as servants. We are co-workers with God, and so when we encounter experiences in our lives, if we are turning to God, then our question is, well, what does God want me to do in this situation? What is God asking me to do? What is He perhaps teaching me? But we have a sense that we are living and experiencing life with somebody who is guiding things. When we live in fear, there is no God, there is only chaos. And when we are living according to this idea that the world is chaotic and is out of control, then when things come at us, we are victims. And it is this victim mentality is highly destructive. It will destroy your soul. It will impede any type of progress in your life, is if you consider yourself a victim of anything. Because the victim is somebody who's imprisoned. They have no freedom. They have no hope. They are living in despair. And it is that status of being a victim that will then create a negative stress response, because that means bad things are going to occur for you. Now, we could say, well, haven't we all been victims to some extent in our lives, that people have done things that are bad to us and all of that? And this is true, but any type of victimhood, when somebody does something bad to us, it stops the moment that person stops doing it. Then what usually happens with us in a fallen state, we're living according to fear, with the idea of chaos rather than God controlling things, is that we hold on to that and we continue to relive it and relive it and relive it and relive it. And so we take on damaging and injuring ourselves. This is a self-imposed status. We all have things that are bad that happen to us, but when we live just to say that I've been victim, I have been wronged, and everything else, we continue to abuse ourselves and damage ourselves far beyond the original injury. And that holding on to the status does nothing. In fact, it impedes our ability to heal from that event. However, when we do have something bad happen to us and we look at ourselves as servants of God, as co-workers with Him, as His beloved children, then we could say, well, how is it that God is going to allow this to change me in a positive way? What can I come away with? And ultimately, many people find that when they have overcome their victim status, then they've discovered that whatever they went through became a means by which they can in turn console other people and help other people. And so that negative experience then becomes a positive experience when it is based on faith in God, rather than simply being on what is sometimes called a pity pot. The pity pot, in fact, is really a very horrible place to be. It is a terrible prison of the soul, that we can become imprisoned with self-pity. And because it tells us that we could just stay there. You can't get out of this. This is a bottomless pit. Here, we are, even in the moment of being abused and being put down upon, we're always looking for the way out that we know is there. We just haven't found it yet, that it will come. And it gives us all of those, this outlook gives us all those virtues of patience and long-suffering and tolerance that make even the experience of very negative circumstances much more tolerable than when you have lost all hope. So the lesson is, don't give up hope, don't be a victim, rather turn to God in faith, because He loves you. And that's it.